by. And that is that your inner life before God is the most important thing. There is a great verse in the Old Testament which I want to read to you. I hope you'll never forget it. It's in 1 Samuel in chapter 16 and verse 7. It's one of the most important verses in the Old Testament. I don't know whether every believer believes it. It says in 1 Samuel 16 verse 7, the last part, man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. I want to say to you that if you can be gripped by this one thing, people look at you on the outside, God looks at you on the inside. What you appear on the outside doesn't matter to God at all, because He's always looking on the inside. If you turn to Matthew chapter 5, I'm sure you all know this verse. Matthew 5 and verse 20. How shall we enter the kingdom of heaven? I mean, this is what we are supposed to be preaching the gospel, is how to enter the kingdom of heaven. And listen to the words of Jesus Himself. I say to you, unless your righteousness surpasses, that means goes beyond the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. The Pharisee, when he prayed in the temple, spoke of his righteousness. I pray 3 times a day, I fast twice a week, I pay tithes. Everything was external. I do this, I do that, I do the other thing. Jesus said, that's not good enough. Your righteousness must be more than the righteousness of Pharisees. And whenever, as human beings, when we hear the word more, we always think of quantity. They fasted 3 times a day, we must fast. Twice a week, we must fast 3 times a week. They prayed 3 times a day, we must pray 5 times a day. No, it's more in terms of quality. The Pharisees' righteousness was of quantity. Yours must be more than that in quality. That's the meaning. The Pharisees' righteousness was outward. Yours must be inward. Otherwise, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. I want to say to all of you who are here, I'm just reading the words of Jesus. If your righteousness, whatever you think is your righteousness, remains like the righteousness of the Pharisees on the outside, you read the Bible, you go to church, you give some money, you sing songs, you say you have accepted Christ, it's all on the outside, and the inside is dirty, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. God looks on the heart, man looks on the outward appearance. When Jesus comes again and we stand at His judgment seat, we read in 1 Corinthians in chapter 4, what is it that God is going to judge? Not what you did in public, but what you did in private. 1 Corinthians 4, verse 5. Don't pass judgment on others. When the Lord comes, He will bring to light the things hidden in darkness and the motives of people's hearts. So when the Lord comes in the judgment seat, He's going to reveal all the things I did in darkness. and all the things inside my heart. And we say, Lord, what about all the outward things? There's no need for it. No need. I will just judge whatever this person did when nobody was watching him. I'll just judge the way he spoke to his wife when nobody else was in the house, or the way she spoke to her husband when nobody else was there. I will judge what he thought in his heart when he was lying alone in his bed and nobody knew what was going on. When he was sitting alone in his house. That's all I'm going to judge, because I've written in my word, God says, man looks on the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. That's enough. You say, Lord, what about the outside? See what Jesus said to the Pharisees in Matthew 23. Matthew 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, verse 25. Matthew 23, verse 25. You clean the outside of the cup, but the inside is filthy. Inside is full of self-indulgence. Self-indulgence means whatever self wants, you do it. Inside. Outwardly all looking very clean. You blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and the dish. And after that, clean the outside? No. No need to clean the outside. Just clean the inside. Did you notice that? We would think that Jesus should say, first clean the inside and then clean the outside. He says, no. Clean the inside and that's it. The outside will become automatically clean. If you cleanse your inside from anger, you'll never murder anybody. If you cleanse your inside from lust, you will never go and commit adultery. You don't need to cleanse the outside. That is why in the final day, He's not going to judge the outside, He's just going to judge the inside. It says there, the Lord will bring to light the things hidden in darkness and the motives of men's hearts. This is the purpose of God that we proclaim.
Here's the framework. Ye may be blameless and harmless. In other words, you live a life of holiness as the sons of God. Come on, did Jesus die for anything less than this? We're the sons of God. And John says it does not yet appear what we shall be. But when we see Him, boy, some of you young guys don't think about this. When you get to my age, you will. One day, I'm not too worried about a crown on my head just now. What I'm concerned about, I want a body like unto His glorious body. But to have a body like unto His glorious body, listen, I have to have a spirit now like His Spirit. It's the reward of living a faithful, holy life. You can be blameless and harmless, the sons of God, without rebuke. Not without rebuke from men, they'll rebuke you for anything. But without rebuke from God, you know that the relationship is as straight as 6 o'clock. You know as far as you can know that you're walking in purity, you're walking in holiness, you're walking in righteousness, you're walking in truth. Ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God, without rebuke. Now, that's the picture. Here's the framework. In the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom ye shines as lights in the world. As you come out of our driveway, if you've been, and if you haven't, don't come to that anyhow. But we have one of those safety lights. You know, the wind blows it sometimes. I heard it creaking one night because it's on a tree. And I listened, I thought it was saying it's too dark here to shine. What? And that's why I put it there, because it's the darkest spot around the house. You say, why did the Lord put me here? Because you've told Him you have His light in you, that's why. We are the light of the world. You work amongst corruption in an office or somewhere where there's dirty talk and all that. Why did God put me there? To be salt. Wouldn't make much good to gather all the street lights and put them all down in the town square, would it? We put one here, one there, one somewhere else. We're to shine as lights in the world, shine with a radiant holiness, with a purity the world knows nothing about.
Sometimes I shut my eyes when I use my imagination. We've all used our imagination for many filthy things in our unconverted days. Why not use our imagination for some good things now that you're converted? So I shut my eyes and I imagine that Christ has come and He set up His judgment seat. And one by one, different names are being called to go and stand before Him. And the Lord looks at the video record of the person's life, of his inner life, a video of his thoughts, of what he did in private. There's no video of the outside, just this is enough. And what goes on, and judgment is passed. And then I picture my name being called, and I stand before Him. And I know that those early years of my born-again experience were really bad, but the Lord's blotted them out with His blood. Not only blotted them out, He says, I won't remember it anymore. But then the Lord looks at the rest of my life, and He sees how I battled, not to get a testimony before men, how I battled and fought in my thoughts to control my tongue and to control my attitudes and to control my motives and to see that I never seek man's honor, that I never desire anybody's money, all the inner motives. And in my mind I picture the Lord saying to me,